Okay, welcome. Now, we want to talk about FISMA. In the previous class, I mentioned to us about that FISMA is a law and it's not a framework. The reason why we say FISMA is a law is because FISMA is one of the articles in the E-Government Act, which was a law that was passed by the United States Congress in 2002. Now, when this happens, it requires that all federal agencies need to make sure that they are protecting their information systems. And so what they did was that they now established what we call FISMA. Now, this FISMA is one of the larger pieces of legislation that we are talking about. Now, for every government agency to be in compliance with FISMA, what they need to do is that they need to make sure that they are protecting their information system, they are documenting how this needs to be done. And so we have an organization called NIST. NIST was put in charge to make sure that they are developing, maintaining, and updating compliance documents as directed by FISMA. And so NIST became the organization that are making sure that the US government or every government agency is in compliance with FISMA. Now, because FISMA is a law, if you are not able to maintain or if you are not able to be in compliance, you are falling short, and that is where you are not able to get your budget. And so this was being put under what we call the OMB, or the Office of Management Budget, for them to be able to make sure that every government organization is in compliance. So they do a regular audit annually. Now, why was FISMA created? FISMA was created to be able to require every federal agency to do two things. One, to be able to develop, document, and implement a complete information security plan to protect and support the operations of the agency. Every government agency are in operation, they are providing services to the US government or to the people of the United States. Now, in their quest to provide these, or in their quest to be able to provide this kind of information, the key thing that they need to do is to make sure that the information is being protected. Think about it this way. The fact that the Department of Agriculture or the Homeland Security is having immigration border regulations, they are protecting it doesn't mean that their information system shouldn't be protected. And so FISMA was being developed to make sure that even though they are doing all this, their information system is still being protected. And in their quest to do that, that is why they wanted them to be able to develop and document and implement a complete information security plan to protect the support and operations of the agency. The second is to protect the CIA triad of information system. Now, we've already talked about CIA triad, so you know what CIA triad is. But we are making sure that every information that they are holding from people, you can imagine the number of people's information that the Department of Homeland Security is having. Now, all this information needs to be protected. And that is what FISMA does. Now, what is the difference between FISMA and NIST? Now, FISMA is the Federal Information Security Modernization Act. NIST is the National Institute of Standard Technology. Now, NIST is the organization that was put in charge, or is a unit within the Department of Commerce, who was tasked with developing these guidelines, standards, and publications to be able to govern the implementation of the FISMA law. So, in other words, NIST helps us to be in compliance with FISMA, if that makes sense to you. So that is how FISMA came about. Now, a summary of what you want to capture in this class. FISMA is a law. The Office of Management Budget is responsible for organizations to be in compliance with the FISMA Act. And NIST is the organization that makes sure that it is developing documentations, maintaining and updating the documentation so that every government agency needs to be in compliance with this law that has been. So NIST developed what we call the risk management framework for us to be able to help comply with FISMA. We'll get into more into NIST and some of the publications and what they did in our next class. Thank you.